Hey guys, I just happened to look down and my dog is staring at me. It's kind of amusing. Okay, so let me give me just a second. Come on, Chico. We're gonna get started here in just a second. I know we're waiting on a couple of people. I think one or two of you said you won't be able to listen in today, but we have some good stuff coming. I'm really excited about today's session because we're going to talk about the big things that are essentially the guiding principles and the things that are going to help you guys with your results and with your success. And with that said, I want to get going right away. I don't really want to waste any time. So as people come on or as you join in or as you listen to this pre-recorded later on, go ahead and post any questions and comments and the homework and assignments, exercises that I give you on the discussion page for today's group session. So today's the 19th. I know there's only 2 more group coaching sessions listed in the platform right now, but I am going to be adding more, so don't worry about that. It's just that's all I scheduled out for so far. So let's get going. Just gonna minimize this a little bit. Okay. So today we're talking about the guiding principles. So those that are the things that are the big movers, okay? When we say big movers, we're talking about things that are gonna really help you get results and the biggest impact, okay? For the biggest impact. So not the little fine things. We spend so much time working on all the details, on all the specifics, but we don't realize it's the bigger picture over time and consistency that's really gonna help us get the results that we want. So it's less about the things that, like all the fine tuning stuff. When we can't be consistent, if we can't be consistent about things and work on the bigger picture things, then there's no sense in us working on the specifics and the details, okay? So what we want to talk about today is the Fusion Guiding Principles, or the main things that I've developed and worked with and that help and will get you results. And whether we slip up, because that happens, or whether we're on track, we want to stay focused on these things. You'll ultimately need to find a way that works for you. But of course, there still are some common habits and patterns for those who succeed in achieving a healthy weight, and that's what we're going to be talking about now, is like, what are these habits and patterns and routines and lifestyle, that we adapt, that are going to help us achieve a healthy weight and manage our health and make it a lifestyle that you can adopt and live by sustainably, okay? So these big movers, as I term them, or the guiding principles, are the big picture actions and focal points to work into your lifestyle, okay? When you slip up or fall off a bit, refocusing on these will serve to get you back on track. So these are the things that over the years, working with people and individually and, doing courses and everything, they have really stuck out, and they've always kind of came around to still be the main things, okay? So what are they? I know I gave you guys some notes. I did email you guys some notes this morning. Please check again on the dashboard, because I updated that document. I modified it a little bit. So go ahead and check that before you save and go only off of what I sent you this morning. That has a lot of information, but I kind of organized it a little differently for your benefit, okay? So start out. How do we start? How do we create a lifestyle out of this? Is we want to think of the 3S protocol. So we have systems or structure, we have simplicity, and we have sustainability. So if you think of 3 S's, these 3 S's are essentially the culmination of what's going to get you the results, what's going to get you in the direction that you want to go in. So system or structure, simplicity, and sustainability, okay? So what are we talking about when we're talking about systems and structures? We're talking about those guidelines. So that 3-2-1 plan or that 4-2-2 plan, those are your structures, those frameworks that's going to give you some direction so that you can implement them, okay? If you don't have anything to go off of, then you might feel a little bit lost. So having a system whatever that system is for you. You know, that's why there are some people that might say, hey, can I start on a keto diet? Can I start on a plant-based diet? Yes, you can. That gives you a little bit of a structure and a framework. So it's a system, it's a structure, it can work. It gives you something that you can go off of instead of just going with a blank slate and being confused. Because I don't like meal plans, but I do like systems, structures, and these frameworks, okay? So use your guidelines, use your framework, use that either EL 321 plan or the EM plan. And then from there, you have to plan and prepare, okay? So planning and preparing is critical. That doesn't mean you have to prepare and cook everything ahead of time, but think ahead. Think of, hey, am I going to be running around today? Am I not going to be running around today? Do I have to eat out today, or eat on the, when I'm at work, or can I eat at home comfortably at the couch, or not the couch, at the dinner table, or am I going to be out with friends today? So thinking ahead so that you can plan and prepare is important, okay? You also want to keep it simple. So simplicity. Simplicity is going to make it easier, and takes a lot less mental work and energy draining. It's less energy draining if we keep things simple. So stop complicating everything. Stop adding all these little, like I said, the fine things and the details and all that, and think bigger picture right now. Okay, are you being consistent? Are you following your structure? Are you thinking ahead? Okay, do you have a plan ahead of time? If you have to prep, have you prepped? It's no excuses, really. Okay. So small changes, little things, step by step, is going to help you be consistent. So stop looking at doing everything all at once. Of everything I'm giving you today, pick one or two things. That's going to be your homework. So as we're going through things today, I want you to pick one or two things, one or two mindsets or frameworks or information here that you can go and implement right now, okay? And start practicing and be consistent with, okay? Because consistency is going to create sustainability. Action is going to create sustainability. Actually doing it and finding a way that works for you, okay? So the 3S system is going to be structure, simplicity, and sustainability, okay? So I want to go on to another big, huge guiding principle, and that is what I call the 3 Ps, or 3PQ, because Q is in there too. The 3 Ps stand for protein, produce, and portions. Q stands for quality. Protein, produce, and portions. Protein, fiber, and water. So produce, we're talking about vegetables, but protein, fiber, water are the ideal things. Those are your fat loss friendly foods, okay? Most of your diet should be full of protein, fiber, and water. I was making a note on this document for you guys, so if you hear me type, that's what I was doing. But protein, fiber, and water are ideal. They're your fat loss friendly foods. They're the things that you want to stay focused on the most, and you want to consume almost every meal, if not every meal, okay? Every time you do end up eating, okay? You're going to sprinkle in your good fats, and you're going to sprinkle in your starches, and we'll get into what works for you as time goes on, okay, by paying attention. So if you're not paying attention, if you're not tracking, or if you're not checking in with yourself and being mindful, then you're not going to be able to you're not going to be able to understand what your body is telling you. And so it's not going to really help you. So I want you to first start paying attention before you ask me, hey, should I be eating this? Should I be eating that? Because if I ask you, likely if you say, hey, how do I eat starches? And I ask you, well, how do you feel when you eat starches? Or when are you eating them right now? And you can't answer me, I can't direct you. Okay, so it's this accountability on your behalf. Journaling and food logging and paying attention is critical. Okay, so 3PQ, protein, produce, portions, and quality. Okay, you're gonna sprinkle in fats and starches. Protein, fiber, and water are ideal. Okay, and you're gonna limit sugar, salt, fat, and processed carbs in your diet. Okay? Think of the 5S meals. So if you think of your 5S meals and there's one thing you want to think about, one thing you want to stay focused on, how about your 5S meals? What are the 5S meals? You have your salads, your soups, your shakes, your stir fries, and your scrambles. Okay? You can also work in a balanced plate, which we've talked about. You guys should all know those balanced plates. Remember, all these plates and plans and all are in your resource section. So pick one and go with it. And then we will adjust it from there based on how you do and what results you get and the feedback you guys give. Okay? So 3PQ, 5S meals, 90% of your meals should be something of a 5S meal style, meaning 90% should be protein, fiber, and water. And then you can sprinkle in the other stuff. You can sprinkle in some here and there. Okay, it's not about a never thing. It's about how often are you having something? Is it serving you, or do we have to adjust how often or how much you're having of something? Okay, it's all about balance and moderation about those things. Okay, so as we know, we talked about what the two things you need for fat loss are. And when we talk about fat loss and fat loss lifestyle, this is also just about a lifestyle. It's to keep us in a healthy weight and a healthy body and a healthy well-being, okay? So I say fat loss, not everybody is directly geared toward fat loss. Many of us are, some of us are in management, some of us just wanna tone up or change our body composition, but that is fat loss, okay? So if we want to decrease our body fat, that's fat loss too, okay? We still wanna improve our performance and gain muscle mass. Parts of that, it entails a fat loss lifestyle as well, okay? So it's a lifestyle. Two things you need for fat loss: a calorie deficit or balance, depending on where you are on that continuum, and a hormone balance, okay? So when we talk about hormones, is your HEC in check? You wanna keep your HEC in check. What the heck do I mean by that? Let's talk about that. So keeping your HEC in check and asking yourself this often: is my HEC in check? You can ask yourself in between, breakfast and lunch, in between your meals. You can ask yourself this before you eat, and you should be asking yourself this question before you eat. So great. This is a great thing that you want to do every time. Get into the habit of checking in with yourself and checking your HEC every time you're about to eat something. And what does HEC mean? We're talking about our hunger, our energy, and our cravings. So ask yourself a good couple of times a day, what's my hunger? Okay, am I feeling hungry? Do I have true hunger? Because here's the deal. I want you to eat when you're hungry and not eat when you're not. I don't care if you wake up and you're used to having breakfast or people tell you you're supposed to have breakfast. If you're not hungry, why are you eating? Stop eating when you're not hungry. Okay, period. Wait until you are hungry. And then apply the 3PQ principle. Okay, so wait till you're hungry, eat when you're hungry, true hunger, that feeling of we need something in our stomach. Okay, so your hunger should be above a 5 if you're gonna eat. Most other times, when we're balancing our hunger, we want it below a 5. Okay, if our hunger is way out of whack, we want to check in and say, why is it out of whack? Are we eating the wrong things? Have we not eaten in enough period of time? But you want to feel that hunger and, aim to eat something by around 7. We don't want to get to 10. We don't want to get to famished, but we want to eat when we have a healthy, true hunger. Okay, and you want to stop eating when you're about 80% full. Okay, not when we're stuffed, not when we're already feeling full, because it takes us 20 minutes to start feeling full and start feeling satisfied and start feeling that we have food in our stomach. So if we're scarfing down food, if we're eating pretty quickly, or if we're eating until we feel full, then we're probably past where we should have eaten. So a principle called Hara Hachibu, and that's eating until we're 80% full. That's a Japanese principle, and particularly the Okinawans. And it's an excellent approach to your eating. So if we wait until we're hungry, we're feeling healthy, true hunger. We eat when we're feeling healthy, true hunger, and we stop when we're 80% full, when we still feel like we can eat some more. Stop when you feel like you can eat some more, okay? And then you wait until you're going to feel hungry again. That might be 2 hours, that might be 6 hours, okay? And you let your hunger guide you as far as when you eat, not all the other plans and programs and what everybody else is doing and what you think is right, okay? So, and then I want you to apply your 3PQ principle when you're gonna eat, okay? So think ahead. Is there protein? Is there fiber? Is there water? Okay? Energy. You want to keep, ideally, energy should be above 5. If you're experiencing times throughout the day that your energy is dipping well below 5 or below 5 and you're just having trouble getting through the day, and it's afternoon, that afternoon slump, you want to look at why this is the case. It could be because we didn't take a break today and we never took time for ourselves. It could be because we've been running around and we've been very physically active, or we've been mentally drained. Okay, and we'll get into how energy can shift and ebb and flow, but it can be due to nutrition and physical activity, or it could be due to some other things, okay? But keeping your heck in check, you want to address energy and check that on a scale of 1 to 10. And then cravings. Ideally, we want to keep cravings below 5. How do we do that? We eat satisfying meals. And that's going to be personal to you. So, moving on. How do we pay attention to keeping our heck in check? Well, we want to practice mindfulness. So, one of my goals for this year is to be more mindful in life and mindful around food and mindful around other things going on in my life. So stop multitasking. And multitasking is probably one of the worst things that we can do, even though we try to do it and try to do it successfully. It does not serve us. Okay? So mindfulness. What is mindfulness? It's being present. It's paying attention. Okay? And you want to do this and you want to practice mindfulness in life and around food. Okay? Not just when it's comfortable, when it's convenient, every time. Because it's when it's not convenient that it's so much more important. Because what happens when we're not mindful? We're doing multiple things. We might be stressed. We might be overwhelmed. Okay? So how do we practice mindful eating? Mindful eating should be something that you zone in on. So maybe you are focusing on keeping your heck in check and you want to eat mindfully. Okay? How do you eat mindfully? I want you to slow down. Okay? Slow down your whole eating process. Meaning don't rush through a meal. Don't rush to eat all the food on your plate. I want you to slow down, pay attention. I want you to chew your food. Okay? 20 to 30 times. Okay, think about how much do you chew your food? Do you chew your food only a few bites? 3 to 5 chews, if not less, and it's already gone down your stomach. If so, you're impairing your digestive system. You're impairing your ability to listen to your body, and you're impairing your ability to get the results that you want. Okay, so slow down, chew your food. Pay attention to what the food tastes like, what it looks like, what it smells like. Savor your food. Okay, so those that say, oh, I'm a foodie, or I love food, I just can't let go of food. Are you eating slow or are you rushing through it? Because likely if you're rushing through eating, how do you pay attention and savor each bite? So fast eaters aren't necessarily foodies and love food. Those that love food savor their food. Okay. You want to stay focused on your actions and the process or the journey rather than always thinking about the outcome or what your goals are, okay? So you want to find and live in ways that you enjoy and energize and excite you now, not just in the future, not just some other time. That's about being mindful. So mindfulness is about living now, even though we want to get somewhere else. In order to get somewhere else, we have to start practicing and living that way now. Okay, so if we're not enjoying the way that what we're doing right now to get us to the outcome that we want, why are we doing it? That's something really important to ask yourself. Like, are you doing things that you enjoy and that energize and excite you? Not everything is going to be perfect, but overall, those things that we do on a daily basis, on a regular basis, should enjoy us and excite us. And if they're not, then we need to start shifting our mindset, our lifestyle, and where we are giving our attention to. Okay? So what's another guiding principle? Moving and lifting regularly. Lifting, we're talking about weightlifting, resistance training, strength training. So anything where you're stimulating those muscles, because you want to maintain muscle mass throughout your whole lifespan, because that's going to keep you healthy, well, moving. It's going to keep your metabolism up. Okay. You also want to make sure you're getting regular movement, NEAT or non-exercise activity thermogenesis. We talked about that last week. So make sure you're moving, fidgeting, being active living. Our bodies are meant to move. They're meant to be mobile. They're meant to be active. They're not meant to sit around and stay stationary. Okay, it's not healthy for us, but we're not made for that. Okay. So what else is a guiding principle? We want to balance and manage our energy and the cornerstones. Okay, so we talked about energy a little bit ago when we talked about keeping your heck in check. How do we manage our energy? That can come from, our energy can be affected by what we eat or don't eat, and it can be affected by our activity and exercise. But there are also other batteries that charge up or drain our energy. Okay, so if we think of 3 different components, our physical energy is the nutrition, is the exercise activity. Also in that is going to be our sleep and our stress. So stress management, sleep, our lifestyle. Okay, but there's also 2 different areas that our energy is either drained or pumped up or charged up. Okay, that's going to be our thoughts and our emotions and our feelings, and then our mental energy. Okay, if we have to think and self-edit and remember lists and remember, projects and do a lot of work all the time, and we're wearing ourselves out with our mental energy, or we're wearing ourselves out being emotional and with the feelings that we're going through or something, then we're going to drain ourselves, and then we're going to affect how we do in the rest of our lives. So our energy and our stamina and our willpower and our motivation is going to be trickling down if we wear ourselves out in the physical component, the mental component, or the emotional. Okay, so we want to balance those 3 things out. We can do that through rest-based living. I haven't mentioned rest-based living too much. I do say it often here and there, both in group training and then, when I work with people. But rest-based living is working until you have to rest and resting until you can continue on again. It's not about working until some set deadline. Sometimes we have to stick to certain timelines and schemes and all, but whether it's in the gym or in life, we need to listen to our bodies. Our bodies go in natural cycles, circadian rhythms, our sleep-wake cycle, but then throughout the day, our energy and our focus and our ability to work hard and then have to recover ebbs and flows. Okay, we have to listen to that. So there's gonna be certain parts of the day that we might feel more mentally prepared and mentally energized, and then other times that we just need to get a physical move, like some physical energy going and pump that up. And that's where we might take a break and take a walk, or take a break and go stretch. Okay. So managing all those components. And then we talked about the framework and the Fusion 5, managing your movement, your exercise, your diet and eating, your mindset, and your lifestyle. Okay. So balance and manage those. We want to think of it in a bigger picture. Is one overpowering the other? Okay. We want to keep them somewhat in balance. A little tip, the physical components of those are going to get you a lot further and help you balance the other components. Okay, so taking care of your body through the physical component is going to help you. Okay, hope you guys are enjoying this so far. So a couple more of the Fusion guiding principles. You need to do what works for you, okay? You need to be a detective. And amongst being a detective, you have to be patient with yourself because the answers are gonna come, but they don't always come instantly, okay? It might take you observing patterns, observing your habits, observing how your body responds or how you respond and react and the results you get or don't get. You know, we have to trust, giving trust and experiencing, okay? So doing what works for you is really the only way you can do something sustainably, okay? Because we're all a little different. We're all unique. So spend more time trying things, implementing things, and seeing how they go, and observing them and observing the outcomes, observing what it does for you. And spend less time looking at what everybody else is doing, less time trying to find the next best thing, okay? Spend less time comparing and judging and getting frustrated by what this person is doing that's working or what that person is doing that's working, and say, why can't I do it that way? Because they aren't you. You need to find what works for you. And the only way you're going to do that is to be a detective, okay? So next principle. Find your vital needs, because this is going to help with stress management, okay? And when we manage our stress, we manage our life, and it gets a lot easier to manage everything else going on in our life and get the results that we want. So if we want to lose weight, if we want to pick up our training, if we want to achieve a goal, we need to focus on ourselves and take care of ourselves. And this is going to cause more happiness, more life fulfillment and satisfaction and enjoyment, okay? So I want to talk about vital needs more in a moment once I finish these other two guiding principles. But you want to create, in a nutshell, you want to create a non-food comfort, enjoyment, and happiness list, okay? These non-food things, non-food lists are going to give you tools, or they're direct tools of what you can do when you tend to turn to food, or when you're stressed, or when you're overwhelmed, or when your energy is dwindling. Okay, so create a non-food comfort list. Okay, that's another piece of homework that I want you to do. Okay, that's one of the assignments, and I'm going to add that to your exercises. Okay, and then the last two guiding principles. So we want to live intuitively, intentionally, and with conscious awareness. We talked about living mindfully and being in the present, so it's kind of along those lines. But the purpose of living intuitively and intentionally and with awareness and consciousness is that so you can adapt and adjust and be resilient for lifelong sustainability. Okay, what do I mean by all that? Okay, what I mean is that our bodies, our lives, our metabolism, what's going on in our life is going to shift. Even if things are perfect right now, something's going to shift at certain parts of our lives, sooner or later, for short periods of time, for a day, for a week or year. Our best bet is to be intentional and intuitive so that we're practicing and understanding what we can do now. But then when things do shift, we understand what we can do then to keep us on track so that we don't feel like we're losing it, so we don't feel like we're falling off track. Okay, so you know, obstacles and barriers and all those slip-ups, they're gonna happen. Plain and simple. Stop trying to avoid them and stop telling yourself you're never gonna do this again. You're never gonna eat that food. You're never gonna fall off track. You're never going to, whatever it is that you've been doing that you wanna quit or break a habit of, don't label it as good or bad. And don't tell yourself you're never gonna do it, because when you do it, again, because it might happen, you're just going to be hard on yourself, and you don't want to do that. That's not going to help you move forward. That's not going to help you build resiliency and a sustainable shift and a change. Okay, so I want you to take those obstacles and barriers. You can write a list of what your obstacles and barriers are now, and as you go along your journey in that journal that you keep, I want you to take those obstacles and barriers and note them as they come. So times you have a slip up, or times you have experiences that, hey, this didn't go well, this didn't go as planned, how I wanted it to. I want you to write down what that obstacle or barrier or slip up was. And then I want you to come up with 2 alternatives to it. 2 directions you can take so that when it comes up next time, or when something similar happens in the future, you have a solution to that then. Okay, because the only way we can truly learn from our mistakes and learn from our experiences is to make them, observe them, and then move forward and grow from them. Okay, so don't worry so much about never messing up. Learn from your mess ups, learn from your mistakes, and grow through them. Okay, you want to monitor your progress, make some small adjustments, and when they slow or stall, which they will, or things will go up and down, be ready to adjust. Okay, so the last big principle is you want to be who you expect to be then, now. Okay, don't wait until you get to that endpoint to start emulating and being that person and doing the things that that person needs to do at the endpoint when you reach that goal. So think for a couple moments. What are you going to be like when you've achieved your goal? Okay, how are you going to live your lifestyle? How are you going to think? How are you going to act? I want you to start to be that person, because you are that person. But it takes you actually being that person and then doing and acting the way that you need to act, and by being that person now, so that you can have and achieve the outcomes and the goals that you want. Okay, so be, do, and act to have. This goes along with your mindset and your attitude and your confidence in yourself. Okay, so I want to wrap up today because we have perfect timing. So those are the guiding principles. But what I want to talk about now, and this is part 2 of your homework, is our vital needs. We talked about our vital needs and managing stress. So our vital needs, and I'm including this document is on the dashboard and it is in the resources section. So please check both areas. Print this out, utilize it, okay? I give you guys some information about what your vital needs are. But if you ask yourself, many of us eat or practice poor habits when we're stressed. Why do we do this? Okay, we're stressed. It's a habit. It's a routine that we get into. But managing our stress and reducing our stress and learning how to cope is going to help us have greater life satisfaction and reach our goals faster and easier. Okay, so everybody has different vital needs. These vital needs are personal to us. There are a bunch of them that we're going to go over, but only a select handful or so are going to be your vital needs that work for you, or that you that feel right for you. So when your vital needs are met, when these personal beliefs and personal needs are met, then your stress is reduced, and it becomes so much easier to make changes and be happy and be fulfilled in your life and succeed in the goals that you want to live or you want to make. Okay. So when we talk about vital needs, we're talking about, we relate them to Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Okay, so if you've ever seen the pyramid of Maslow's hierarchy of needs in psychology, your vital needs are at the top, essentially. That self-actualization, that endpoint of knowing and understanding ourselves and knowing what makes us tick, what keeps us going, what keeps us focused and on track. Okay, so we want to look at what we need in our lives to feel fulfilled and in control and in charge of our lives, because these are our lives. Okay, nobody else has the true power to control our life. Okay, but stress is the feeling of a lack of control. When you feel out of control, when you feel unsure, uneasy, you get stressed. Okay, it's perceived. Stress is a perception, and it may or may not be real. But it's a feeling where you feel out of control or uneasy or unsure or fearful. Okay. And when this happens, when we get stressed because we're out of control or we're unsure about things, we end up seeking comfort. And this is a reason why I say, like, why we turn to food for comfort, why we overeat. Okay, when we feel lack of control or lack of unease, we don't have an answer from somebody else, we don't know what's going to happen tomorrow, a storm is coming, we don't know how we're going to feel tomorrow, we don't know when we're going to get hungry next. I mean, that itself, we're like, okay, we're trying to listen to our body, but we start getting anxious because we're like, well, what if we don't know how to listen to our body? Well, it's important to step into some of these fears and face them, which we'll talk about in time. But the first step is addressing our vital needs. Okay, so stress management starts with addressing and understanding our vital needs. Okay, everybody is stressed from different things, and understanding our vital needs is going to help us understand what is going to help us manage our stress. Okay, some people it might be alone time, some people it might be listening to music, or maybe driving and taking a drive and exploring or traveling, or spending time with others. There's all different reasons. Everybody's a little different. Okay, but in the end, vital needs are about taking care of you. Okay, you have to learn to take care of you before you do so for others, because you can't take care of others if you don't take care of yourself. You're not going to serve them. You're not going to be there for them in the way that they might need you. Even though you might not be available in certain ways and times for others, while you're taking care of yourself, taking care of yourself is going to allow you to be the best person you can be for those other people when you are there. Okay. It's about, if you're on an airplane, they always tell you if the oxygen mask dropped down, put yours on before the others to help them after you put yours on. Because if you don't put yours on, how are you going to breathe to help them in the first place? Okay. So typically everybody has 7 vital needs that are classically their own. Okay. So there are many vital needs, but everybody has, typically it's about 7 that are really your own. And that's going to be something that you want to determine for yourself. Meeting your vital needs is going to reduce stress and unlock fun in your life. So if you want to have fun, if you want to have enjoyment, if you want to have satisfaction and fulfillment, and if you want to reach your goals, you want to find ways to reduce stress, meet your needs, and unlock that fun. Okay, so I gave you guys a list. I'm not going to list it all off here because I just don't have time. But I want you to go through that list. I'm happy to clarify anything. I listed, there's 25 different vital needs that are listed here. Okay, the point here, get your vital needs met and see if it doesn't reduce stress in your life and unlock the enjoyment in your life. So start actually, the exercise I want you to actually practice specifically is I want you to identify your personal 7 vital needs. Okay. Then I want you to write down 2 ways for each of those vital needs that you can get each of them met regularly. 2 ways you can get each of those vital needs met regularly. Then I want you to share this list with somebody close to you or somebody that is in your life. It can be myself as a coach so that I can help direct you. It will be your significant other, your kids, your parents, somebody who is around you, a couple of people, and that's going to be your support system. And you can share this whole exercise with them, as it can help you get yours met, and it will help them too. Okay, so in the end, vital needs are met. It reduces stress. It makes it easier to make changes and be happy and fulfilled. Let me know how it goes. Check your exercises on the dashboard and let me know how it goes. And I will see you guys soon. Bye.